All right. Oh, hey guys, it's Brett from IBMA here. How's it going? Hope everyone's all right. And yeah, I thought I'd just chat this morning, about a bit of a someone's going to bed. Oh, you can catch it later, bud. Catch it later. Catch it later. Sleep is important. Okay, guys. Yeah, I just thought I'd been busy doing some chores and stuff, but also some training this morning. Or into this afternoon on my day off. And I thought I'd talk a bit about some 72 secret arts of the Shaolin grip training methods. And I've got a few gadgets. I've got a few gadgets to show, mainly this gadget. If anyone can guess what it is. Now, it's a bit of a variation. Yeah, it just looks like a dodgy, I don't know, torch or something. It's a bit of a variation on one of the grip training tools in the 72 secret arts of the Shaolin. If I get as I go along, I'll try and get the actual skill up on this thing so I can actually tell you guys. Usually I just say it off the top of my head. Oh, there it is. Let's have a look here. So look, I'm gonna be more and more in my channel just focusing on and going into the 72 secret arts of the Shaolin, because quite a few people come to me and they say, although I don't train, I can't possibly train them all, but quite a few people come to me and they say, oh, they're interested in this skill, they're interested in that skill. So yeah, for the past 5 years at least, as you can see on my YouTube channel, I've been training skills from the 72 secret arts of the Shaolin. So yeah, I'm going to be sort of focusing on those, trying to make a video on those, giving some of them a go that I don't do, doing some follow-alongs. Maybe we can all be giving them a go, and yeah, just really embracing the 72 secret arts of the Shaolin. Corey, yeah, buddy. Ironwire is also a subject that I constantly am interested in and train. So I was also planning on doing some Ironwire videos. Just starting with the beginning of the sets and forms. I mean, the Titsin Quen forms a massive form of Ironwire, but and yeah, you very rarely get time to get through the whole thing. But there's some core sets at the beginning of the form that are pretty much they're pretty much the key to the form. It's just the breathing and certain movements and sounds. And once you've learnt those first 7 to 10 movements, you can get a good grasp of the sounds and stuff you have to make. So yeah, so that's to look forward to. Also, yeah, no, that's all right, bud. I won't spread myself thin. I'll probably put a bit of those, because I'm trying to build the Patreon thing. Obviously, I'm not going to neglect my YouTube channel here, because that's Patreon is to supply this channel, but obviously the people who actually sort of paid into that to support the channel, I've got to give them something that makes it worth their while, that makes them feel like, all right, I committed to this, so I'm getting something a bit more. So yeah, that's why I'll probably start them on there, but eventually they'll trickle down into the YouTube thing. If the community was big enough on Patreon, I'd do like a closed follow along there. And once again, I only mention it because I'm getting heat, and I'm getting a bit of anger from the wider Kung Fu community. Some instructors who are saying, you should be, people who I respect, but they're saying you should be sort of keeping this knowledge on the down low, but it's there in written form for everyone to see, so whatever, but I do respect their opinion, at the end of the day, my view on it is that if someone's going to have if they're going to have the want to train it, then they deserve the skill that they get from training it, because you're not going to get it other than training. All right, but anyway, I'll go on to this. I will go on to this skill, 4-part exercise. See, I want to do a video on the 4-part exercise, Si Duan Gong, or however you pronounce it, because that I've been after studying it after seeing it in the 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin. That's basically it's basically bits of the Ba Dua Jin, or the brocade, seems to be. But anyway, sorry, I'm digressing here. Where is the skill? Iron head, iron shirt, series of blows. A lot of them cross over. Sweeping with an iron broom, bamboo leaf palm. So for bamboo leaf palm, which is skill 12 of the 72 Secret Arts of Shaolin, I've actually got a stone bag that I'm going to be setting up. And I have obviously practiced it in the past with my iron palm bags and stuff like that. Bamboo leaf palm is basically just striking into a hanging bag, but it's a heavy bag. Raising the weight, 1,000 jins, celestial palm. No, it's not that one. I'll get there eventually. Not Cinnabar, Flying Tiger. Before everyone disappears, I'll get there. Oh, jeez. Haha. Iron Groin. Corey, Iron Groin, yeah. But yeah, man, well, the skill's in there. I can't say I haven't tried it. A couple of years back I did try it, but I kind of decided against the Iron Groin. I think that's yeah, I know, but yeah, when you're that crazy about martial arts as I am, well, was and am, I did look into the Iron Groin skill, because it is there, and the method for training it, but yeah, after I gave it a little go, I figured that even though I've trained Iron Head to some extent, I figured, yeah, this isn't for me. I'll bang my head, but I'm not punching myself in the nuts. Well. So, but it's an awesome skill. So anyway, sorry guys, I wanted to show you guys this because I did say this grip training thing. I'm just trying to find it so I can reference it for you guys. Obviously, over the last 5 years or so that I've had this, it's more than that, more than 5 years that I've had access to the 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin. I've pretty much picked up a lot of the methods, but for this video, I wanted to reference it for you guys from the actual manuscript. Sun rays, exercise for the groin. There we go. Oh, just as a side thing, I wanted to say, because I've been eating my lunch, but there was an example of my lunch. You guys might not know. There's an exercise for the teeth in the 72 Secret Arts of Shaolin. And all this, but you think, oh, hold on, this is silly. Yeah. Now there is some link. There's meant to be some link between the kidney area, the gland down there, and the teeth in Chinese medicine. But the actual exercise is great. So if you're eating, and this is what the monks do, because people wonder why the Shaolin monks subsist on such little food, and how they get the best out of their meals. So the exercise for the teeth, just as I digress, is that once you finish your food, and this is dirt simple, but that's the 72 Secret Arts for the Shaolin for you. And there's also other ones that go into, like ones for your eyes when you wake up in the morning to rubbing your eyes, and other ones that you kind of can incorporate into your overall martial arts health thing. But anyway, once you finish your food, you clench your teeth 36 times. Now it doesn't have to be 36 times, but that's the recommended amount by the manuscript. So you clench it, and I can vouch for this. I've done it for the last at least 5 years, if not more. So you clench your teeth together in your mouth. You clench, clench, clench. And what it actually does is it causes the release of saliva into your mouth. So a lot of people wolf their food down, yeah, and they don't get enough enzymes into their food. So you clench, once you finish your food, you clench your teeth after your meal, clench your teeth 36 times in your mouth. Now this also helps to actually strengthen the jaw, and it also strengthens the teeth and the bones around the teeth and stuff like that, because you're clenching, but you're not clenching too hard. But you know, because I don't know if you guys have seen the skills where the Shaolins will like bite on the edge of a table or a plank of wood, like a table, and they'll lift it to demonstrate the neck strength, but also to demonstrate the power of the jaw. But anyway, the long and short of that skill, the long and short of that skill is that you swallow your saliva, and rinse it around your mouth to recalcify your teeth and remineralize your teeth, and then you swallow the saliva after chewing 36 times into your stomach, and you can repeat that and repeat that and repeat that, and it just puts more enzymes into your stomach and it helps your digestion. So there we go. Someone just said, Cheshire Cat. Oh yeah, there's a blast from the past. Are these training methods in a book? Well, yes. It's the 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin. Yeah, they're in a book called The 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin, and I'm selling them, and I'll sell them to you for $10 a book. No, I'm only joking. I'm not selling any of them. You can go online. You can download them. It's quite a readily available manuscript. I was kidding. I'm not selling anything for once. Someone not trying to sell stuff. All right. So yeah. Years ago, about just after 2005 maybe. Sorry, I lied. It's more than 5 years. I had to buy my copy as a download and a disc from the Shaolin Kung Fu online library, which is awesome. I would love to actually buy a paperback one, which I might do one day, but for now I've just got it on the download. So yeah, go to it, guys, and get it if you can. And the secret to it is the training of it. It's awesome. It's an awesome manuscript. It's what I base all my training on. Well, obviously in the Kung Fu background and stuff, but yeah, it's a fantastic conditioning manual. It doesn't give away the secrets, it just gives you a brief overview of what you need to do for the conditioning. Anyway, and you can always come here and ask me and I might be able to tell you something. Anyway, there's some awesome skills in it. So yeah, for those guys who just joined, my channel is basically 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin and training methods from that. You will find them all through my channel, but I'm looking to identify it a bit more and actually maybe do some follow-alongs and really, just show people the skills that I have trained from it, and maybe we can all share ideas about it and just kind of bring it to life, because it's kind of not it's not very touched on subject. So for instance, Cheshire Cat there, he can go away now, he can get a copy of 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin, he can read it or look at it, and he'll be like, oh shit, that Iron Body martial arts guy, he's not just making this crap up, he's actually practicing and studying recorded methods that have been trained in the Shaolin Temple for hundreds of years. But yeah, I train them, but a lot of them are underlying. But I don't train them all. No one can train them all. I'm trying to find it for you guys. There's so many. I mean, also be careful with it, because the thing I like about it is that it's kind of a bit, it goes into the realms of folklore and stuff. So like you've got poison palm in the 72 Secret Arts of Shaolin, where you pound 5 different kinds of poisons into a clay block, and then you mix it with salt, and then you strike the clay block. But obviously, we all know now that the conditioning training would be from striking the clay block. There's no way the poisons are going to do anything for you. They're not going to give you any power, but they're a bit superstitious, the Chinese, so that's what they're doing. Anyway, I will find it in a minute. There's also cool exercises like pinching a flower, which is, I suppose, you could incorporate into the grip training one, which is like where you like pinch your little beans and peas, but we can go into all that. But today I wanted to show you just a specific training gadget that I made. Now also, this training gadget that I made for grip, if you go back 5 years or 4 years to the back videos of my channel, you'll see a video called 2 Shaolin grip training methods. And it's me on there. So that's a kind of, again, even though I've remade this gadget now, that's a kind of verification, honest verification for you guys, that you can go back and you can be like, oh look, 5 years ago, this guy was talking about the same thing, and here he is talking about it again. Here he is doing it. Here he is using the thing that he's spoken to. So that proves to you guys, not that you need it, but proof is nice. It proves to you guys that I'm not just a guy who's reading, as I've seen some people have tried to start channels of similar, who's reading the manual that I bought and then telling you about it, having not trained it. Yeah, I will tell you when I have not trained one of the skills from the 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin. So like I said, this grip training method that I'm going to show you guys, if you go back 4 or 5 years down my channel video list, you will see a video called 2 Shaolin grip training methods. And today I'm going to show you the same one. And for anyone who's just joined, that's just a verification that I want to be going through the 72 Secret Arts with the Shaolin with you guys. I want to demonstrate the stuff that I've been training in the gadgets. And you can also know that it's not something I've just read in the book today, and now I'm showing you it and going, oh guys, yeah, look, I've been using this for years. Go back 4 years on my channel, and the proof is right there. It's me using this stuff. I can post the link on, but other than spoon feeding everyone, go back 4 years on your channel. You'll see 2 Shaolin grip training methods. Yeah, so we'll do that. Anyway, I've blabbed on too much about that, and some people are getting bored and leaving, but that's all right. Maybe they've gone to check out that video. Oh, damn it. Trying to find it for you guys. Here we go. Oh yeah, well there we go. As it happens. Oh, fantastic. That's funny. As it happens, it's skill 72 of the 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin. Yeah, and here it is. Yep. So you're wondering what this gadget is for. So all you do in the reference material, you make a bundle of sticks or bamboos or something like that. It's very simple. You make a bundle of bamboos and sticks. You put them together. Now you tie them with cotton on either sides, and then you keep forcing sticks in until it's like really tight. Now, if you go back to my old video that I made about it, I actually used a big bundle of garden bamboo cane, which are about as thick as my finger. Yeah, so that's what I was using. So I had to make a bit of a modification to this gadget. I had to cover it all the length in duct tape, because how you use it is, it's simple. You just use it as a twisting. Use it as a twisting, yeah, and a rubbing, yeah. So you rub it in your palms, and you try and crush the inner core, yeah. Yeah, and it's just one of those things that you do, and then you grip it like this, and you grip it and you twist it. It's a bit like those gym twister things, yeah, that you see advertised, yeah. So bundle of sticks tied very tight. I've used bamboo cocktail sticks, and as it happens, this is skill 72 of the 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin, called rubbing palms. I forgot what it was called. So it's designed to train squeezing force, yeah, which is useful for martial arts because yeah, you know, it trains your fingers, it trains your tendons, but mainly martial arts is and martial artists of the past have been famous for feats of grip strength and power and stuff like that. So that's what this is. Yeah, now there's no shortcuts. Um, it is what it is. It's just a bundle. It's not going to make you Bruce Lee. It's a bundle of things. But every day you practice crushing it, yeah, and squeezing it and twisting it, and you practice all different ways of twisting the bundle, yeah, and you just work it into your martial arts routine. It's a bit like the raising the pot as well, or raising the weight on the stick, yeah, which is another one of the skills that are in the 72 secret arts of the Shaolin. But yeah, that's all there is there. So that's what I just wanted to find it on the manual for you guys because I'm always I wanted to reference it physically. Oh well, actually, hold on. Now that I mentioned it, I might as well show you. Might as well show you the skill. It's a little cheap thing to make. Thing of cocktail sticks. Like I said, jam them in there until it's really tight. So what's going to happen is, as you progress, you're going to crush the core. Like I said, I had to cover this in duct tape because when I was rubbing it, because obviously my other one was a lot bigger, you know, it was garden bamboo cane. When I was rubbing this, my hands and fingers were just crunching and tearing the bamboo sticks. You know, it wouldn't have lasted very long at all. So I can't be asked making it again. So I've covered it in bamboo that stops my hands from just, you know, grabbing the bits of bamboo and tearing it out. But it's a great little tool, yeah. So it's not very big. It's a small thing. You can grip it, you can twist it, and because of the elasticity of bamboo, you can really work at it. You can work at twisting it and gripping, but the main skill is in the rubbing. Yeah, you rub to crush this core. Yeah, that's the idea. And you see it. Yeah, and then you grip, and then you do a few at a full range of motion, and it really energizes the arms and the tendons and gives you that. Well, as you can see, it gives you that freaking elastic power in there. So give it a try. What I was going to show you guys. Oh yeah. So there it is on the 72 Secret Hearts of Shaolin, rubbing palms. Yeah. So, yep, that's the beginning. That's the beginning of it. Rubbing palms, and like I said, if you go, oh, didn't really show it on the camera. Oh well, you saw it for a second there. So yeah, pretty simple. You'll start to wear away all the stuff on the inside, and then just jam another cocktail stick in. And I made this for, well, it cost me $1. And the thing of duct tape, which I love and I use for everything, the thing of duct tape cost me like $10 Australian dollars, but I've used that for loads of other stuff. I've used that for my paper block, striking at a paper block. That's another one of the 72 Secret Arts of Shaolin skills. I believe I put a few pictures up on the Iron Body Martial Arts Facebook page. There's a video about striking on a paper block on the Patreon feed for them. But anyway, which it will come to YouTube. Not that it's just hitting a paper block. If anyone wants to know about the skill, we can discuss it. But I've got a video on my channel anyway about striking at a paper block. I've got a video anyway about it. If you go back to the old videos, just hit a big block of paper. That's all it is. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's that. Also, obviously, you can use this bundle in the 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin. There's a couple of skills where you need to make a bundle of something, and you need to strike yourself with it. So if you're a beginner, you can, although it's still pretty tough, but you can then use this bundle for striking at the bones, striking at the muscles, striking at the bones. tapping at the head if you want to, although probably don't do that yet if you've not done anything. And yeah, just as a little tapper, an iron bone tapper. Yeah, you just tap the bones with it, yeah, gently. A bit like in Muay Thai where they hit the shins with glass bottles. Yeah, it's a similar kind of thing. And the only thing with that iron bone, for anyone who doesn't know, is that you tap the actual bone. Yeah, you just tap the bone. Yeah, and that's different to tapping the muscle. Yeah, because you're trying to, with iron bone, you're trying to actually get the bone. Yeah, so you just tap it gently. You don't let it bruise, and it's something you have to do day to day to day to day. All right, so there we go. That's one great method of conditioning tool from the 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin. Great for forearm strength. A little gadget that you can make yourself for like $1. You can tie it with dental floss or whatever you want to tie it with on either end. It's pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool. What else? Yeah, so today my training wise, I was doing some tire flipping because I had loads of stuff to mess around with in the garage. Yesterday, or the shed or whatever you want to call it. Yesterday I did striking at a paper block and some flexibility stuff, just for a bit of a training update for you guys. And today I did flipping this big tractor tire that I've got, just to kind of get the whole body. And then yeah, obviously I made this gadget today, so I was busy giving this a test out, seeing how it works, seeing if it's all right, seeing if it's any good like my last one. My last one was much better though. So this one more conforms to the actual grip one mentioned in the 72 Secret Arts of Shaolin. I don't know if you guys know, but for the past more than 2 weeks now, I've been doing weighted leg training, which is another skill from 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin, that I pick up from time to time. Except I put a twist on it this time, because I've been wearing the weights. I've been wearing kilogram weights on my legs for the last 2 weeks, at least 8 hours a day. So I've been going to work with my work boots on with these weights. Yeah, and I've been the whole day wearing the weights. Then I've come home, and worn them a bit more and taken them off. So the idea is to make it, to just allow it to ingrain. So I haven't been doing big crazy motions with the weights because they're a little bit too heavy, for me to just suddenly start doing those things if I want to wear them the whole day. But once again, I've been talking about that on the Patreon and Iron Body Martial Arts Facebook page. I think I can't remember. I lose track of where I put things now. But yeah, those are all aspects of training that I can discuss. I can share. We can look into. By way of an update, all I'd say is if you're going to do weighted leg training, for extended periods of time, like I have done, for 8 hours a day for freaking 2 weeks solid, without a gap, then you need to get some flexibility in there as well, because your muscles will start to tighten up, and you need to watch your knees as well. Yeah, because it can be heavy on the knees. But yeah, you guys can chat to me about that or whatever. Yeah. So that's that really. I think that's everything. Just trying to keep improving really. Keep getting better. Oh yeah, with the weighted leg training, one thing I've definitely noticed after 2 weeks, is like I've got a motorbike. I've got a Honda Fireblade. One of the old 1999 Fireblades, just short of 1,000 cc. It's not a very heavy bike, but it's a 1,000 cc bike. And one thing I've noticed is in the local shops, which I'm lazy, I should walk to with my weighted legs on, which I have. But I rode there the other day, after having taken the weights off at the end of the day, to collect some stuff. and usually I park the bike on a slope, um, and I have to put because the bike's parked on a slope, you've not got a lot of reach with your toes. You know, if you're trying to imagine if you're trying to reverse a bike up a slope, it's always difficult. So one thing I have noticed about the weighted leg training is after a bit more than 2 weeks, the last time I went down without the weights on, when I had to use that last bit of range of motion of the calves just to push the bike back, gradually back up the hill so I could turn out and leave, um, I found it no problem. You know, it was easy, whereas before I was like struggling. So if anything, I'd say so far, after the 2 weeks of weighted leg training, um, it appears that the fine motor movements of the foot and the calf have been strengthened quite a lot from the 2 weeks of the weighted leg training. And for anyone that's just joined in, that's 2 weeks of wearing the weights, wearing the kilogram weights on each leg, for 8 hours a day, going to work with them on. And also I've got work boots that weigh about 700 grams each, because I got these. Yeah, these are my work boots. They're blue steels, they're called. Blue steel boots, so they weigh about 700 grams or so, steel cap. And then I've got the, I don't know if you can see it. I've got the leg weight. Where's the leg weight? Yeah. So I've got the leg weight on. I'm wearing it now. Here it is. It's just a kilo each. So I've been wearing them today. Close that down. So yeah. So that is a skill from the 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin. However, I've tweaked it a bit, because in the skill in the 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin, you wear like a 300 gram sack of weights on your leg, or it's a very small, I think it starts with 50 gram or a couple of 100 grams, and you would run with it every day. Yeah. But I didn't have time in my morning routine to go for, and you know, I work shift work and stuff, go for this run before I go to work at 7 in the morning. I'm not a big fan of running, so I tweaked it a little bit. And also the only weights I could buy were these leg weights, which are, these ones are a kilo each. So I just bought these leg weights that are a kilo each, and obviously I had to tweak it a little, like I said, so that I can wear it all day, you know. So far, yeah, that's what I've noticed. For anyone who's interested, after a bit more than 2 weeks, the lower extremities of the foot and stuff like that are starting to get pretty strong. So I look forward to continuing to wear them for longer. I'll keep you guys updated. Oh, 10,000 method. Hey, that's another thing. There's this guy here, 10,000 method. You guys can probably see his comments. 10,000 method. 10,000 method. Check out his channel. Yeah, I just want to say something about his channel actually. Flame Wars. Now starts the Flame Wars. No, I don't do Flame Wars. 10,000 method. If you go and check out his channel there, it's a relatively new channel, but it looks really good. You know, his camera's good. It's a hell of a lot better than this crappy channel of mine. But anyway, I saw his channel the other day, after he commented on one of my videos, and you know, I don't know him. I haven't really spoken to him. I've left a few comments, but you know, I believe in credit where credit's due. You know, well, I'm not going to say he's a beginner, because we're all the same here. You know, I don't like to use the term beginner and advanced or whatever. I'm a nobody. He's somebody else. But I was just impressed with he did a video of conditioning training where he's conditioning on a tire, and he does these self-evaluating videos where he looks at his kicks and he looks at his stuff, and he by his own rights he calls himself a beginner. And I just was really impressed with what I saw, it reminded me of that's what martial arts is about. You know, it's just someone who wants to improve themselves. I'm talking about 10,000 Method channel. One of the guys' channels called 10,000 Method. You know, I was just really impressed with it. Was, you know, just what I like. No nonsense. You know, he was trying his conditioning method there that he sort of found online and wanted to practice. And yeah, you know, I just wanted to say, have a look at his channel, guys. Like I said, I don't know him. He's not paid me to say this, but I was impressed with his channel. I was impressed with his resolve. I was impressed with his spirit. I was impressed with his everything. For what it's worth, coming from me, you know, it just kind of made me feel good. I saw it and I was like, yeah, awesome. Anyway, I won't blow any more sunshine on the poor guy. So yeah, we were talking about the weighted leg training. We were meant to be talking about grip training actually. So for anyone who's just joined, I was talking about 72 Secret Arts of Shaolin. Skill 72, rubbing palms, which tries to develop crushing rubbing force, yeah, and gripping. Now you guys probably heard like old Okinawan masters and stuff, and there were tales about their grip strength and being able to crush stalks of bamboo and stuff. And this is how you develop that sort of crushing grip strength, where you're placing tension on the tendons through a range of motion, and you can hear the core crushing. And that's the idea with this little gadget. Yeah, you make a little gadget, a bunch of sticks, a bunch of chopsticks, and you just force them in there. You can tie it with rope, or I've just used duct tape. And yeah, you just twist it, you crush it, yeah, and you allow the elastic tension in the bamboo bundle to train your tendons, yeah, and it's a really great grip strength training method. Now, I was just saying to the other guys, I just made this today. Well, I've had the stuff and I made it, but if you go back 4 years to one of my videos, it's called 2 Shaolin Grip Training Methods, and you'll see me with my old one of these, which was a big bundle of bamboo garden canes that was bound together with cable ties. So that's the one I did the core of my training on. But I wanted to make this one for you guys to show you, because it more resembles the one from the 72 Secret Arts of Shaolin, and it's a bit more compact, and it's maybe also, because everything fits together more tightly, there's a different aspect of the skill that happens when you train it this way, yeah? So you just rub it, yeah? And you crush the core, and that's stage 1 of the skill. So if you want to make one of those and do a bit of a follow along, make one of those, get twisting it, get crushing it, get rubbing it together in your hands. And the idea is to put force into it so that you're trying to crush the inside of the core. And then grip, yeah? And then grip, yeah? And also rub it on the full length of your tendons, yeah? Don't just do it here, yeah? Try and every now and then take the full length of those fingers, yeah? And it'll really sort of develop the strength to the tips of the fingers as well, yeah? And yeah, it develops crushing force, which this sort of force, this kind of elastic force like this, gripping, twisting, crushing, great for martial arts, great for shimiwaza, chokes and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm sure you guys can find loads of cool ways to use this thing, as well as it being a little bit of a iron bone striker. Yeah, once you've made it. Oh, gadget for you there. I'm full of crap, aren't I? So I'm sure 10,000 Method, when he comes back and watches this later, he'll see this and he'll like it. So yeah, that's one for you, buddy. Give it a go. Give it a twist. Join in on those 72 Secret Arts of Shaolin. Don't have to be a Shaolin. You just have to be a martial artist or someone. Oh, Cheshire Cat. You want a breathing, I'll give you this one. I'll give it out to you because it's only my opinion. But if you want breathing exercises for eye and body and strengthenings from the inside out, you can go no wrong to go no further than the Tidsinquen Ironwire breathing, and I'll give you one of them. I'll give you one of them. So you stand with your hands, and this is another thing I'm wanting to make some of the videos on page. I'm going to go make some first on Patreon, and then bring some over to here. But like I said, I've got to put things on there because people who've joined it, I have to give them something to make it worth their while. But anyway, so maybe I go here. I don't know if you got this down, cat. Oh, here I am. Alright, so you can't see my head, but it doesn't matter. So you breathe in through your nose, yeah? So you go, yeah? As you raise your hands up. So you curl them from the ground, and you imagine that you're picking up a stone off the ground. Yeah? Oh, hold on. Now there's more aspects to this, so don't run away yet. It's not just that, there's 4 aspects. I just got to plug my laptop in because it's going to die. You know what, guys? If I actually had a half decent channel with bloody half decent cameras and a place to show all these things, I'd be dangerous, wouldn't I? And I look like a hobo most days. I'm like the Kung Fu hobo. Alright? So, breathe in through the nose, and you grip your hands up. Yeah? And you can already feel it going into your core. Yeah? Then, ho! You breathe out, ho! And that tightens the core more. Ho! Then you breathe out the nose, and then you project. Ho! Yeah? And that's the motion that you do. So I'll show you one more time. Now it seems silly, but if you see what the sounds do and you follow the breathing correctly, in through the nose, and you imagine you picking up that rock off the ground. Yeah, then hop, you go hop, and the hands cut forward. Hop, yeah, so that's like you're gonna throw the rock. Hop, then breathe out the nose, and then you project up. Yeah, and anyway, what that'll do for you is it'll lock everything down, and it'll really get you being able to get that projecting power off the floor. Yeah, when you do it. So you breathe in through the nose. It's a lot like Sanshin from Okinawan karate, because Ironwire is the father of Sanshin. Yeah. So in other words, the Sanshin form contains so many moves and some breathing, and the Chinese Ironwire contains like 70 something forms, and of course a few bits and pieces were lost along the way in the transition from Chinese to Japanese, but essentially it's the same thing. So you breathe in through the nose, and you imagine that you're curling this rock up to here. Yeah, and already you should be able to feel the top muscles, the outside muscles of your core tightening as you imagine you're squeezing this rock. Yeah, then hop, you go hop, and it engages the back and internal ones, boom, of the abs. Hop, like this. Yeah, and as you chop forward, then you go, and you breathe all the remaining air out of your lungs. Yeah, and then once that's gone, there's hardly any left. then you go, yeah. And by this point, you literally would have you will wring your core like a sponge, yeah, because you have used sounds to engage about you've engaged all the different sets of external, internal fascia, you've engaged them all with sounds, yeah, and you've locked them down. So I call that like the locking door, because by the time you do the last sound, it's as if your core is one of these bundles. It's just tightened, and that's why you can project so well. So yeah. Huh. So I hope that helped you out, bud. That was for the Cheshire Cat, but I think you just left a question mark, but that was probably because I just disappeared off somewhere. Yeah, the white crane. The white crane. Yeah, well, the white crane is believed to be the founding of the Okinawan karate styles. Yeah. Um, uh, yeah. Now, I just cleared your airways. Um, yeah. So obviously, everyone does it. Everyone will do their method slightly differently. So that's the method I like to. That's the sort of way I train the iron wire stuff. Um, Yes. Well, hopefully, Cheshire Cat, you can feel it. Now, that's only one. That's only like the starting couple, and that's only a few of the sounds. And anyway, that's my training of the sounds. So, I mean, I've had a few people come to me from Hungwa and say, I've been training Hungwa for this amount of time, and this video helped me, or this video didn't help me. But again, you can buy the Tidsin Quen Ironwire book, and you can go and train those things. You can give it a try yourself. It's all explained very well in there if you want to do it that way. Yeah, good, Cheshire Cat. Well, there we go, bud. I gave you that one for free, didn't I? So no one can say I don't try and help people out. Plus, it's only my opinion. So yeah, if by all means, like what Michael said, um, yeah, if it's not for you and you think maybe there's too much tension in that or whatever, um, then then yeah, that's fine. That's all good. Don't copy it if you don't like it. Um, um, there's a there's a there's a there's an iron wire Sifu called what's his name? Nung Quen. It's a NG Shifu Nung NG, and I really like his stuff on this iron wire because he's there's people who do the forms and stuff and they do it all, and they're saying there's all this energy and stuff, and yeah, there might be that, but he's quite a respected shifu of Ironwire, and he's seen that it also boils down to these just mechanical exercises, like dynamic tension and stuff like that. So anyway, but that's for another video. But anyway, that's a great. It's silly and you'll make silly sounds, but the sounds do stuff. Hopefully, like Cheshire Cat, you can feel it. So breathing through the nose, you pick up the rock, yeah, ho, as you chop forward, and you can feel the front muscles of the stomach engaging. Then you breathe all your air out of the body, and then and you project. Um, so finally, before I go off this subject, it was just because Cheshire Cat asked for it. Um, if you go back on my Iron Body Martial Arts Facebook page, when I was in Spain, you'll see because the text, because the teachings say, imagine you're picking up a rock. Well, a way to train it and a way that I was getting my breathing good and right was that I actually trained with a big rock, like a big egg-shaped rock, and I would bend down, I'd lift it up, I'd do the breathing to here, and of course then you have to breathe right because it forces you to breathe right. So I'd breathe to here, I'd hop, chop the rock forward, and I do the breath in the stomach, hop, and the nose, and the final, all in one go, hop, and I use that final bit to project the rock. And there's some really good pictures of me like projecting this rock. You can see it sort of flying off up into the sky and down, and it was really a cool little exercise for projecting power. So yeah, worth giving it a try. Anytime. Yeah. So yeah, the original reason for this video was to show this little grippy trainy thingy. From 72 Secret Arts of Shaolin, a little gadget, and you just make it out of sticks. You bind it with tape or rope or whatever, and then you just crush it and twist it. Yeah, as I showed before. So everyone who was there has probably seen it. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty good for grip strengthening. So yeah. I am planning on doing more Ironwire. I always sort of put those beginning ones into my qigong routines, or warm up routine, or whatever you want to call it, dynamic tension routine. And yeah, it's pretty. At the moment for me, I'm pretty rigid, I suppose, tense with it. So, but as practice happens, I'm sure externally I will relax out of it. But part of the reason I am carrying that tension is because I'm trying to visualize the descriptions and the teachings of like picking up that rock, And if you're trying to engage those same kind of muscles, if you're picking up a rock off the ground, you're going to be, although it's more going to be inside your core, but you're going to be pretty, tight inside and whatever. But anyway, all right, guys. So yeah, I think I've probably blabbed on now for 50 minutes and killed you all with boredom and crap. Before I go, I am planning on trying to make this channel like a bit more professional, because yeah, like I said, everyone's channels these days, they got like really good internet, really good cameras, and I'm a bit like the kung fu hobo in the background. So I don't know. I'll see what I can do about that. Ultimately, the main thing is as long as the advice is getting shared. But it's also nice if the channel grows. It's gotten to an alright point. But there are some channels out there that I do see them and I think I will, I could be on that same level with that channel if mine was as professional, it's a bit cheaper. So that's why I'm, just trying to brush things up, sort things out. Moving house soon, so I'll try and make a little training area there and whatnot. Well, I will, regardless of whether I put it online or not. Like I said, I got the Patreon thing going on, which I'm trying to develop into a bit of a more closed thing, either through Patreon or now this is a sort of a sensitive subject, but either through Patreon or by just contacting me anyway. I can do and will do sort of personal training and tuition for people, but I need to talk to them first. And the Patreon one, I'm trying to force myself to have the time to do it. So if someone wants to be a personal student on there, they can, and once they're there, it'll force me to have to put the time into it. Because I'm always busy. People are always asking me, but I'm always busy just with work and stuff like that, and just trying to get my own training done. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But at the moment, with no one taking it up, I've had a few people send me messages about it, but I'm not too sort of sad that no one's taking it up at the moment, because obviously it requires a lot of work on my part. So that's all good. What else? Yeah, that's it now. I've talked too much. I've got a few. Actually, I've got a few IBMA shirts coming along. But again, guess what? I'm not going to try and sell them to you. I'm just I've just made them for myself, as a bit of a joke, but also as a bit of a thing, so I look a bit more professional. This was an old kung fu shirt I bought off one of my friends years ago, and the sleeves pissed me off, so I just cut them off. But yeah, I'm just trying to get the channel looking a bit better, and obviously a background that isn't just my kitchen would probably be better for people as well. But yeah, at the end of the day, you got to train where you are. That's another ethos of my channel is I don't, you don't need a studio, you don't need whatever. You can grab day-to-day items, you can flip tires, you can pretty much copy and mimic any training thing, without having to, um, wear a gi and do it. Oh, that's another thing. Oh, no one's probably listening now, but I had someone say, because I was teaching a class of like kids and youngsters, just up here where I live, and one of them said like, oh, and I think someone said to me on YouTube here as well. They were like, oh, well, are you going to do a video in a gi? Are you going to do a video in like a uniform or whatever in a uniform? And I said to him, I said, my skin, and I've said it to people in the past. I said, my skin is my gi, my skin is my uniform. That's so it's especially when you start martial arts, it's really nice, and I did it myself. It's nice to like be a member of the club, and then you even when even when it's your even when you're at home and it's your day off, you know, well, when I was younger, I used to put my gi on, put my belt on, and then I would go and train. I'd go and train outside, and when I put my belt on and my gi, I was like, yep, all right, that's me focused now, and I'd go and do my training and my routines, and that was something I liked to do. But obviously, all these years down the line, there's no harm in doing it. It's all good. But all these years down the line, I don't really need to put a gi on to do some training. Albeit the only reason I suppose you would do it is so that your videos, because I tell you what, if I stand there and tell you something, well, I'm just like a kung fu hobo, so no one listens to me. But not that I want them, not that they need to anyway. It's just my opinion. But if someone else stands next to me, they can have 10 years, 15 years less experience. But if they stand next to me in a gi, but this is how television and YouTube and everything works. If someone stands next to me in a black belt with a gi on and says, this is, so and so's channel, there's a huge chunk of people that will just go straight there. They'll see me as a hobo sitting by the sink at home or in my back room or out in the yard, and they'll just be like, man, I'm not listening to this freaking crazy martial arts hillbilly or whatever he is, weird English South African guy trying to tell me stuff. I'm going to listen to the guy in the gi, but yeah, that's just the way the world works, people. I'm mumbling and bumbling now, but yeah. So anyway, with that in mind, yeah, I'm going to try and make the channel look a bit more professional, put a bit better videos out. At least wear some sort of kung fu top or my IBMA tops that I've just ordered, which, as I said, I'm not going to try and sell to you. It's just a crappy white T-shirt with the IBMA logo on it here, which is my hand in this form, this set, and an IBMA on the back, which is cool. So we'll just formalize things a bit more. Okay, guys. Unless anyone has any more questions or anything like that, we I'll probably head off, and I'll go. I don't know what I'll do. I might rest. I might go and do some more striking out of paper block. Before I go, I keep saying it, but I'm really trying to build the community on Patreon. I understand that not everyone has money to put into those sorts of things, but also there is like a free community there too, which I'm sort of trying to build. Yeah, so there's still videos there that you can watch and see, and topics and stuff that you don't have to pay into to go and see. So I'm going to be putting stuff there, and of course the Iron Body Martial Arts Facebook page. So yeah, anyway, guys, Thanks for your time. Well, yeah. Thanks for stopping by. This is just a bit of an update from me, and I'll catch you guys around. Good training, everyone, and yeah, keep up the good work. And yeah, go and see that thousand method channel. Yeah, there we go. Dobitel Dobitel 9. Yep. Yeah, well, I hear you, bud. Yep. Yeah, mine is usually just whatever crap I'm wearing. Or my old black heavyweight. Yep. Alrighty, guys. So keep well, guys, and have a good training. Oh yeah, how do I turn this down? YouTube used to be so much simpler, I'll tell you that, before they did all the streaming rubbish. Well, actually, before I go, I did want to mention something. I keep saying I'm going to go, but yeah, for Cheshire Cat, yeah, yes, pretty much. Before I go, I just wanted to say something about all the flame wars and the fakery and all this. You know, there's old Jake Mace online, and there's a couple other people online. I'm not saying anything about Jake Mace, but I just don't buy into any of that stuff, guys. We've all got a lot better. We've all got better things to do, than flaming other people and putting them down. And yeah, I understand. I understand that there's if people make fraudulent claims and this, that, and the next thing, then they do deserve to be brought up about it, and that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. It just kind of just sort of tastes bad. It doesn't sit right in the mouth. I prefer just to keep out of those things and not become involved. Because some people have asked me in the past, what do you think of this, and what do you think of that, and what do you think of this faker and that faker. And the reason I do that as well um, is because I myself have been targeted by. I used to follow. I can't remember what it was, but I used to follow on Facebook, like a lot of you guys do, one of these bullshit martial art pages or something like that, or but you know I found that the elitist fucking, sorry for swearing, the elitist judging. It was like at first they had a point, but once they ran out of stuff, their tentacles would go further and further and further. And when then it got to a point where if they didn't understand something, or it was different to whatever martial art they were doing, they would flame it, and they would this, and in my opinion, they were doing some really they were doing some really shitty stuff. They were like putting pictures up, personal pictures of these people up on this group, and everyone was ridiculing them behind these people's backs. And yeah, I suppose you could say if they're gonna do that and they're gonna put themselves out there, then they deserve to be treated in that way. But the martial arts community is usually like, in general, is like a community of respect. You know, or you get to, before the internet came along, you get to put your money where your mouth is. But again, there's a lot of these keyboard warriors that can hide behind the keyboards, and of course, everyone's a freaking millionth Dan, aren't they? On the internet, they're like everyone's a thousandth Dan. You get these little arrogant shits with their opinion about this, and they go and read a bit on Wikipedia about that. And so yeah, and the crux of my story is that I can't remember which group it was, but when I first started out on YouTube here. Now bear in mind, all I was doing was 72 secret arts of Shaolin and conditioning training methods that I'd always trained. And that's all I was putting out. I wasn't claiming I was a Shaolin. I wasn't claiming I was lineage, some secret lineage. I just came on with my shitty camera and I said, guys, here's my conditioning regime that I use for martial arts. And I actually got targeted by one of these closed groups, I think it was, or one of these bullshit groups. It wasn't bullshit martial arts, of course. It was one of these groups who, for whatever reason, decided to target me. And actually, someone else told me about it. Someone said, "Hey, man," and quite a respected instructor who I knew from the UK of ninjutsu. He was on the group, so I think it was UK based, and I think the guy who runs it was an aikidoka, to be honest. But and I've got no problem with aikido, by the way. But when it cultivates freaking idiots, I do have a problem with it. And yeah, obviously from the Japanese perspective, he thought because he did some aikido or whatever, and maybe he lived in Japan, that martial arts shone out of his arsehole. So this guy actually targeted me, and he actually went on my private page and took pictures of me off my page and posted them on that page. And I had a picture of me in what's it, Poo Boo, not Mabu, but Poo Boo. The squat stance. Yeah. And it's just doing a stance. It's the right leg's bent and the other one, it's a bit like eagle. Yeah. So down like that. But I just had a picture of me like that on Facebook. And that's all this guy had, is he went on that and he got this and he posted that picture up, and he was like, oh, look how ridiculous this guy is, look at what and everyone was like freaking laughing and stuff. And I went on there and I was like, guys, like, what are you actually doing here? Like, I said, why don't you go on my site? And he ended up he took it down. But there were all these freaking idiots egging him on and stuff. But I said, I ended up winning the freaking day, because I went on the page and I said, look, you guys are pathetic, man. You've gone past the freaking clip of me breaking a brick, me smashing a coconut, me doing all the things that I actually do, and you've pulled a picture of me doing a stance that you don't even know, you don't understand, and you can't do yourself. And because it looks like something you don't know, you've ridiculed me for it. So to that extent, I mean, before that time anyway, I was against flaming, I was against all this. But, that just reinforced it to me, because, when someone came and did it to me, and I wasn't being dishonest, I wasn't being false, I wasn't being fake, all I was doing was my training and putting it online. And yeah, you're right. I suppose I put it online, so I was open to criticism. But what I didn't sign up for was, like editing. So where someone takes a picture or something like that, and they edit out everything else, so it suits their agenda. I didn't sign up for that. And yeah, I just didn't think that there was this whole rotten fake ass bullshit martial art community that were tearing into sort of people who were just trying their best, you know. So yeah, that's my gripe with those sites. Yeah. So I mean, some of you guys, like, I mean, there's there's the 10,000 way, so he runs a channel. Um, so you know, some of you guys might run channels yourself, and you've got every right to. Um, you know, and just don't listen to those naysayers who say, oh, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. You're allowed to do whatever you want to do. You know, if you want to run a channel, you run a channel. And what annoyed me is, like, those people would come to me and they would say, oh, you're just a baby and you're just a freaking kid and you don't even know what you're doing and this and that. Now, little do they know that not only had I at that time I'd been a police officer for 5 odd years, but I'd been practicing martial arts since I was 5, and doing my conditioning training and doing all these things, and taking it very seriously. And I trained 7 years of jiu-jitsu, which I never even showed on my channel. And there were so many skills that I never even showed because I just don't have the facility to show them. And these people were just, coming on and saying, oh, you're fake and you're this, and oh, look at this stupid stance you're doing. And I was like, hold on a second. If you knew anything about kung fu, um, you would respect the fact that I can do that stance. And more or not, I said to the guy, I said, okay, you post a picture of you doing that stance. I bet you won't be able to do it because you need at least a couple of months, if not years of training to actually just be able to recreate that position. So, yeah, Cheshire Cat's there. Well, yeah, it's a jealousy thing, man. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I went off topic, but I was just trying to talk about the sort of flame wars and all that that's going on there. Now, I'm pretty lucky whereby it's left me alone now. So it goes to show that these people are actually cowards, because once you get to a certain amount, so once they see a certain amount of followers on your channel page, they then disappear. Between zero and like a couple of thousand or a couple of hundred followers, you're fair game. Once you've got a few more followers, I guess their valid opinions, they're too cowardly to come on. I'd respect them more if they came on now and said X, Y, and Z. At least then you've got an audience of, or maybe a bit biased because they follow your channel, but you've got like an audience of honest day-to-day people who can say, hold on, actually this guy's right, you're wrong. You know, you're talking shit. The stuff that you showed was crap. You can at least, and I suppose you're only referring to people who follow your channel, but at least you can say, well, hold on, what about all those people there? Let's refer it to them. Let's see what they think. Um, yeah. Um, I just think I think it's sad when the kung fu community or the martial arts community um, attacks itself. Because that's another reason I made this channel. My channel, Iron Body Martial Arts, I've tried to make it pretty much a reflection on me, which is I want it to be an inclusive of all martial arts. I want to just show conditioning trainings and exercises and strength trainings, etc., from a martial artist perspective. So not from a health perspective, but it is health, but that anyone in any martial arts can go, oh, that strength training tip looks good, that sledgehammer tip looks good, oh, I do aikido, but that conditioning method of your hands, that looks pretty good. And so when I came and did this channel, it was, it was with the mindset of bringing everyone together and being like, everyone could be involved, because a lot of the martial arts world is segregated. If you do karate, you do karate there. If you do kung fu, you do kung fu. If you do aikido, you do aikido. And I've got respect for all martial artists, and I've also tried and trained in a number of different martial arts. So I think every martial art brings a bit of goodness to the pie, to make the whole thing pretty awesome. So it makes me like, I actually, another story for you guys. A few years back, I actually got flamed and like attacked by some like seventh Dan Aikido guy and if he's out there, if he's out there, he can welcome him back to say whatever. But and the main thing I said to him is he disappointed me, because he was a seventh Dan Aikidoka. Now, Aikido is no playing around. It takes a lot of commitment and dedication to get to seventh Dan. Now, this guy was a seventh Dan Aikido, and he came on my channel, and he said, his first comments were, I was doing the breaking, and he said, oh, I bet, well, he said, I bet you can't do, they're mad about, I don't know why, because I did train Aikido, but the instructors seem to love their push-ups on the back of their wrists. And yeah, in Kung Fu and in lots of martial arts, we do those. So he came onto my video, and he said, well, he sort of poo-pooed what I was doing. I was breaking bricks and coconuts, and he was like, oh, well, I bet you can't do press-ups on the back of your wrists like me. And I basically just said, and this guy was just egging for a fight. I basically just said, yeah, well, hello, I can. And he was obviously egging for a fight, but anyway, he used that as an excuse to then it just attacked me. And he was like, oh, you're just a baby, and you don't even know anything about the real world, and this is rubbish, and this is, and but what it was clear, it was plain as day clear, just like Cheshire Cat said. This guy was a seventh Dan martial artist who'd done no conditioning. So he saw someone breaking rocks and hitting bags and doing stuff like this, and it threatened him, and he wanted to poo-poo it. So he came, and the only way he could do it was by just demeaning me and saying, like, I'm a kid and I'm a baby and I don't know what I'm talking about, and this is rubbish, and I'm hitting planks, and it's not real, and he's an ex-Navy boxer, so he knows everything, and blah blah blah. And the funny thing is, what I never even bothered to tell him, is that at the time of him flaming me and saying I'm probably a keyboard warrior, I'm a frontline police officer, emergency response, and I had been for the last 5 years. And I'd been in my fair share of shit. I'd had people bloody try and smash me through windows, throw me through bedroom bloody beds, attack me at night drunken. I had all of that shit, and I survived pretty fine with my with my made up dummy punching crap that he was saying I was doing. And then in the end, I said to him, I said, well, look, mate, I said, I have big respect for Aikido, and I meant it from the bottom of my heart, and I didn't say it to upset him. I said, you are a disappointment to me, because I hold Aikido in high stead. I have a good friend who does Aikido. You have to train very hard to get your black belt, and 7th Dan is an awesome grade in Aikido, and you have just, when Aikido is all about Budo and martial arts philosophy and all the righteousness and all that, and this guy just displayed every bad characteristic of a shithouse martial artist. You think you think 7th Dan, you think this like wise master, Mr. Miyagi, and obviously the real world just isn't that way. This guy was just an absolute dick, and he just wanted to come on. He wanted to just attack something he didn't understand. I could have done the same. I could have gone on his Aikido and gone, well, that doesn't work, X, Y, and Z. You can't break bricks. But I'm not an idiot. I know that because someone who can't break bricks could still beat the shit out of me. So I'm clever enough to know that, yeah? Being able to break a few bricks and smack a few coconuts and slap a few stones only makes you indestructible if you believe it does, and then you're in trouble because you'll get flattened by someone. I promise you that. Get out, bloody cat! Cat giving me grief. So yeah, suffice to say, I've got a few stories of, and some of the guys are weighing in here with, yeah, I don't understand it either, guys. Those who can do. So yeah, that's why I try my best on my channel, and I've always said it. Um, Go out there on YouTube and find a negative comment from me to anyone. You won't find it. That's a that's a that's a promise. Go out on trawl my comment database if you can. I don't know. You probably can. Find it and who's it? Jonathan Smith. Jonathan, are you teaching this evening or are you distraught? No, I'm not distraught, buddy. I was just ranting about. I did at the beginning of this. I was talking about a little grip training method from 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin, which, to summarize for you, is it's skill number 72, rubbing palms, and you just get a bundle of sticks, a bundle of chopsticks or cocktail sticks. Actually, chopsticks are probably better. And you bundle them together, you tie them with rope very tightly, and then you force extra ones in the back so it's really tight. And then you practice it doing crushing, rubbing, and gripping, yeah, and twisting, yeah, 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 and twisting skills. Now I've had to cover mine in tape because when I was doing it, it was breaking the bamboo. It was just breaking it. Yeah, I probably should have used chopsticks. But also the one I used to train with, if you go back about 4 or 5 years on my channel, you'll see I did a video called 2 Shaolin Grip Training Methods, and it's a bigger version of this, made from garden cane that I tied together with cable ties. So yeah, this one is a bit it's a bit yeah, weaker for me. Plus, I do a lot of grips training stuff, but I wanted to show it. I wanted to make it pretty much like the one in the book, so I could show you guys you could make it and you could get training on it because it's basically like a twister. Yeah, you twist it, in loads of different ways, and you just focus on this crushing force. And you grip, you just try and crush the core. Yeah, and it'll develop for you a very powerful crushing grip strength because it's nourishing the tendons all the way from the tips of the fingers to there and all this inside iron bridge. Really good. So yeah, for Jonathan, hi Jonathan. And then after I talked about that, I talked about a bit of other stuff that I was doing in some of my training. But then I was gonna go, but I just wanted to talk to everyone about, just a bit about the flaming and stuff that's going on out there. And I just told everyone some stories that had happened to me, and why I don't agree with. No, that's all right, but why I don't agree with the sort of flaming and stuff and putting down of other people. Because the long and short story was, it's quite a few people have done it to me on being as that I'm online. But what disappointed me is and I was telling a story about some 7th dan Aikido instructor who just came to my channel and started flaming me and just saying, oh, you're probably you're a keyboard warrior, and this, that, and the next thing, and just disappointed me really. He trains in the UK. He says he's a 7th dan, and he's an ex-Navy boxer. He says, and he came on my channel. It's a couple of years ago, I believe he was a friend of one of a friend, so I think he got introduced to the channel that way. And he just flamed me and disappointed me because I said to him, I said, look, mate, you disappoint me. Regardless of what your opinions, the way you've said them to me, you're meant to be a seventh Dan, you're meant to be the embodiment of martial arts and Aikido, and you've just, you've come on here sort of just being sort of, well, how I suppose you're allowed to be arrogant when you're a seventh Dan, but just the wrong attitude, especially for someone who, was so much younger. I was 20 something at the time, and he's like a 40 something year old martial artist who's been training for years and years. That's not the attitude to have. Um, like there's a channel I was talking about called 10,000 Way. Um, I went on the channel, and the guy is, well, I say he calls himself a beginner. I'm not going to call him a beginner, but he calls himself a beginner. And you know he had a conditioning routine and stuff like that he put up, and he analyzes his own videos and his own training, and it was awesome. I put some comments there saying, man, this is really good. This is just what martial arts is about. Putting in the hard work, making your little conditioning setup, realizing that you've got to do this, and analyzing yourself. And just what I would hate is for those sorts of people to go at that person, because regardless of what those people were saying, I had been training for years and I had been doing my conditions. So even if the seventh Dan comes on and says, well, that's crap and you're rubbish and you're making it all up, if I am making it up, I've been making it up for 15 years. So it's too late now. So I'm just like, oh, well, whatever, mate. I've had people, actually attack me, and I know that the stuff that I've trained and done has helped me, and it's been better than sitting on my ass and doing nothing. So I'm quite happy to carry on as is. Until such time as I go to freaking the Shaolin Temple in China or find a really good master, I'm quite happy to carry on doing my thing or join another school. Um, you know, and I know it works. I know, you've got to build, as a martial artist, you've got to build yourself. You've got to build your martial artist. You can go to a club and you can go there every day and you can get your black belt and you can get all this stuff. But I've come across many and many and many a black belt who couldn't fight their way out of half a paper bag lying on the floor that was wet and had fallen on top of them. And that's what you don't want. But usually that happens because of ignorance. It happens because of arrogance. Arrogance is the death of a martial artist, I believe. I mean, I know you see like in MMA and stuff, the fighters like come across as arrogant and they do this, but that's a front. That's a thing they have to do because they're doing like ring fighting. It's a psych game, but most of those guys, when it comes down to it, are humble pie. And most martial artists that are worth anything, if you talk to them and if you meet them, they are like some of the humblest, nicest, kindest people you will meet. Yeah, I know you can't say that about everyone. There's some crazy cage fighters who are probably not that kind and not that that bit scary. But inside they respect the work of other martial artists. Which is awesome. Uh-huh. So yeah. So anyway, bud, that's what I was ranting about. I'm just passionate about it. That's all. That's my missus messaging me. Um, yeah, just it's. Oh, there we go, Jonathan. Yeah, I'm sure you have, but um, it's. I mean, that's a whole nother topic. You make an awesome video about, the, what's. In fact, I might make a specific video about that. Just to put it out there and just be like my 2 cents on what I believe is kind of the death of martial arts, because no one on planet Earth is going to watch till 1 hour and 29 of this rubbish of me talking. Um, once it's not live anymore, I'll still put it out there because it's got the grip training stuff. Um, so so yeah, but that's it. Like I don't know, guys. Obviously you guys are. That's why I kind of like the fact that my channel's, it's been going for 5 years now, but it's still sort of underground, and I kind of like the fact that it isn't mainstream, because I go on some of the mainstream channels and I go on some of the mainstream things, and the people. That's part of the reason I've done the Patreon thing. Or I tried to do it with my Iron Body Martial Arts website, but they make you pay so much money to try and have a private area or build it. They just rip you off. And of course, if they rip me off, what I've got to do, I've got to rip you guys off, or what? Where do I get my money from? So I just left that. But so that's part of the reason I've been trying to make the Patreon thing, which is to just it's a free way of building, for me anyway, of building that sort of private community, whereby you know you can just share a bit more of your ideas, share a bit more of, like you would chat with your friends in training in the group, um, and not have the flamers come and see your ideas and then steal them and say that they were theirs, um, you know, and just stuff like that. But anyway, it carries on. So that was a funny one. Another one, just for you guys, another one that disappointed me is that I actually got attacked by, when I first came in, and this really disappointed me, is I got attacked. You guys might have heard of them if you're from America, by what are they called? The Iron Palm Brotherhood. What are they called? Iron Lotus. The Iron Lotus Society came and attacked me. Now, not I can't brand. You see, I was on their page. I was like, I followed their page, the Iron Lotus. They didn't know I followed their page, but I did, and I followed it for quite some time. And yet, I never did any on my YouTube channel until they came and flamed me. I never did any breaks like theirs. I never copied any of their stuff. Um, I never did any of that to the Iron Lotus Society until Rod, what's his name? Rod something. He's got a channel. Who again, I don't know a lot about lineages and this, that, and the next thing, and I don't care. I just care about training. Now this Rod Stewart guy, or Rod something or other, from the Iron Lotus Society, do you know what? Do you know why he actually came? He came on my page out of nowhere, and he said, that arrogant is he, that he said to me, it's people like you that make me look bad. I kid you not, I remember it to this day. And I was so fucking disappointed. Um, um, Forgive the swearing, but I was really, really disappointed because, like I said, I used to follow their page. They seemed to have a good lineage, and they demonstrated really good conditioning. And I know, what's his name? Dale Dugas is, like, I think he's the head of it, or was the head of it, but he is their sort of instructor, I think. But anyway, this Rodney Morgan, that's his name. This Rodney Morgan um, uh, came on my page, and yeah, obviously his students and people who were watching his videos, they were seeing the way, if you go back to my breaking videos, I break things on an edge like this. And like, the reason I was doing that was as a practice training method. I wasn't like, they call them slam breaks. So they were saying that I was getting the things, slamming them down and then hitting them. But to some extent that might have been happening at a microscopic scale, but I wasn't lifting the thing and going like this. If you go and look at my breaks, I was holding it on the edge and breaking it. And also, I'd published many an article and actually done videos saying that I just use that method of breaking as a training exercise to test the strength of my hand. I'll get like a brick and I'll chop, chop, chop. And it's also the first way I learned how to break bricks, was that way. So this Rodney Morgan guy came on my channel, and he immediately said, "You're a fraud, get off," and he started tearing into me. And And I was like, hold on a second, mate. I've I've trained kung fu, I've trained martial arts since I was 5 years old. Uh, my channel, look at all the other conditioning methods. I've got stuff from 72 Secret Arts of Shaolin. I've got iron bone training. I've got iron head. I'm in good condition. I'm doing good stuff, good flexibility, strength training. You just come on my channel and you're just calling me a fraud because I'm breaking a few bricks. And then anyway, long story short is they believe, those guys, which is fine, that unless you break something flat on a stool like this with a palm, um, you're a fraud. Um, but again, I was disappointed in Rodney Morgan, and it's all these years down the line, it's still stuck with me because it was a case of, they're an established group. They had good training methods. They had obviously a good lineage or something like that. And then this guy comes along and he sees another martial artist doing something different to him, not being cocky about it, not saying this is the freaking best thing ever, and even releasing videos saying, look, guys, I just use this as a training method to test my iron palm. I'm developing it at the moment. I've been training it, and I'm just using this to demonstrate how you can strike something hard, and even if it doesn't break your hand. And this guy came on and flamed me and said I'm a fraud and this and that, and really, really laid into me. And yeah, I was again, I was pretty disappointed by it, because there was so much we could have spoken about and shared and stuff like that. And his comrades, or um, his fellow people didn't really share his views either, because they were sort of, I think one of them sort of came on and sort of half apologized to me. He actually apologized to me after my brother died. And that's another thing. You don't know what people are going through if someone goes and flames them. You know, my brother died, and I've got this idiot. I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to do my thing. I'm trying to sort of express myself, and you got this idiot, people like that attacking you. They don't know what's going on in the background. My brother died. I had this stupid argument going with this guy. I was like, I don't need that. All I'm trying to do is be a martial artist here, and just I'm using YouTube now. People post up videos of absolute crap on YouTube, and like dancing and throwing bottles against a wall and stuff like that, which is fine. So if they can do that, then I can put up my crappy training if I want to. And it's just. But I think it was a case of what the guys have said before, is that his students, because I'd actually found this out, that his students were showing him my videos, and they were going, oh well, what about this? What about this? And because they didn't condition in the same way that I did, I just used to strike trees and stuff like that. Maybe their knife hand skills, or his knife hand skills, or whatever, and his other striking aspects of the hand weren't developed. So I don't know if they even could break like that or whatever. Well, I'm sure they could. But yeah, this guy was just stuck on the fact that iron palm was just a palm. But no, iron palm is not just a palm. Iron palm is the whole hand. So iron palm is this bit of the hand, the fingers, the backhand, the side hand, the fist. That's all actually iron palm. It's iron hand. Um, yeah, so that was it. I was just disappointed that those guys, here's me, I'm an iron hand or iron palm practitioner, and then these Iron Lotus guys, or one of the Iron Lotus guys, comes and attacks me, which kind of disappointed me a bit. Even if they didn't agree with what I was doing, or I trained it differently. Ultimately what happened is that guy said to me, "Oh well, I challenge you to break something flat on a pad." And of course, because I actually had conditioned hand, I broke it. And then I had coconut breaks. I hold a coconut and break that. He challenged me to do some breaks, and I did the breaks that he challenged me with. And ultimately, maybe that's why he ended up apologizing. But it was probably also because my brother died, and he sort of had a bit of felt sorry for me or something. I don't know, but yeah, yeah, Jesse, Karate by Jesse. I don't get to watch a lot of his videos because they're very much geared towards karate. And I used to train karate, Shotokan, and so I used to do a little bit of Okinawan karate. Um, um, so yeah, but yeah, it's good. Awesome channel, awesome channel. Um, yeah, yeah, I've got videos. I've got videos. If you go back onto my channel, you'll see videos of me breaking um, wood and coconuts and bricks and bits of stone. And that's what those guys had. Their problem was, you see, they were buying these slabs, which is fair enough. I was just picking up old crap off my garden and breaking it, and it was jagged and not uniform and old bricks and stuff like that. So anyway, forget about that. Well, you see, look, to train iron palm for Jonathan, or in my opinion, to train iron palm, you actually strike all the surfaces of your hand because you want to densen the bones. So, in effect, if you train iron palm, it's iron hand, or at least that's the way I've learned how to train it and been taught how to train it and practice training it all these years. So I don't, maybe it's just me, but I don't separate it, in other words. Like I don't, I would never put an arm palm bag down and just slap it just with my hand because that is just not the way um, that is just not the way. I don't think. I don't know. I don't know if anyone trains it like that. If they do, it's fine. But that's just not the way I train it. It's not the way I've been shown. It's not the way I was taught. Yeah. So for instance, yeah, like you say, if you had it, technically it's not the same thing. But if you had your iron palm bag or your phone book block, you were striking. You would strike it. Where's the screen? So yeah, you would strike it like this, like this, like this, like this. Some people even strike it like this. So there's a number of strikes, isn't there? There's front strike. I used to do flat palm like this. Then I used to do ging palm with a ging in it. Then I used to do flat knife hand. Then I used to do backhand and fist. Yeah. So that was it. That was sort of my routine as far as I can recall. Yeah. So yeah, Kyokushin's awesome. Big respect for Kyokushin, the hardest, the strongest karate, Masoyama. Masutatsu Oyama has always been like an icon of mine, like a figure of inspiration of mine. So yeah, love Kyokushin. I'd love to study some Kyokushin, but yeah, awesome stuff. I've got a good friend who I haven't spoken to in a while. He lives in the UK, Daniel Wiseman, and he's pretty good at his Kyokushin. And what I like about Kyokushin is the Tameshiwara, the breaking. Because obviously I like my conditioning and I like my training and I like my breaking. But yeah, Masuyama, famous for the one hit death punch where he'd break people's ribs and stuff. You know, Yeah, I've seen the videos. Although the bull nearly killed him actually, because he wrestled the bull and it got him. If you read the history about it, it skewered him in the side and got him in the ribs. And I think the horn like narrowly missed like an artery or narrowly missed his lungs or some shit. So yeah. But yeah, there's clips of him using a shito to chop the horn off the bull. Jeez, man. Yeah. Nah, big. He was a big inspiration to me when I was sort of 15, 16. Seeing him using his big makiwara. I used to dig big like railway sleepers into the ground. wrap them in a towel, and I used to strike them. I used to strike trees. There's even a more recent video of mine from about 2 years ago, if you go back on my channel, of me using my lamppost makiwara that I had used in Spain, which was just a big wooden lamppost, electrical post, and I wrapped it in a towel, and I just used to go out the back in Spain, and I used to strike it, boom, boom, with the fist and with the chops, with the chateau and with the palm and with the back fist. And yeah, so many hours of, I won't say wasted, but so many hours and hours and hours of my life have been spent just chopping shit, just hitting stuff, and that's what qualifies you to have iron hand, or to do, or to break stuff, or whatever. People say, what qualification do you have? What Sifu told you how to do that? Well, no Sifu is gonna tell you the secret to iron hand, and tomorrow you're gonna break a stone or break a rock or be able to chop someone, or chop something and not hurt yourself. You are the Sifu. You are the one who has to take what you've learned, take what you know, and you're the one who's got to go and hit that bloody makiwara, hit that steel ball bearing bag, hit that sandbag, hit that little turd every day, every other day for years. Years and years and years and years. At least a couple of years. We all know it. I think most of you guys here are martial artists, you all know it. So that's what qualifies anyone to say anything, is what they can do, not who their shifu is. That's something that does annoy me a bit about kung fu, I must admit, is that it's all about lineage and who your shifu is. And your shifu could be Bruce Lee. That doesn't mean you're going to be a good martial artist. Well, guys, that other whole half of that video was a bit of a divergence from the core exercise. Hey, just another thing that reminded me. You can't do it with this, but has anyone here tried Tai Chi ruler? Tai Chi ruler, or heard of Tai Chi ruler? Yeah, it's a similar thing to this, but it's interesting because I saw an article about it years and years ago. It's Tai Chi, but with a stick in the middle. Yeah, but I don't know a lot about it. But if you do Qi Gong, and if you do Tai Chi, or if you do any of those forms and everything, you know when I found out about it and read about it, obviously being that I was studying Qi Gong and stuff like that, I incorporate that in a similar way than this sometimes into my routines. And again, it's just this, but then again, I probably use it in too much of a muscular way or whatever. But I incorporate it in like a bit of constant pressure. You see how the hands shake there? It's because the tendons. I'm not pushing very hard, but it's because the tendons are just pressing. There's force being applied into them from another direction. And I used to speak a lot about tendon washing. Yeah, and that's a similar thing. It's using tension to apply force into your tendon, which circulates the blood into them, and that's basically the basis of, I believe, of qigong and stuff like that, exercises. And that's always been my understanding, and that's always what I practice. Why do it? Well, one, it warms up your muscles, it warms up your tendons, it makes your tendons more flexible and strong, but also tendons have a bad circulation. Or sorry, not bad, they have a less circulation than muscles. So that's why tendons take a long time to fix, if they fix at all, but by doing these qigong exercises, you can, or Ironwire similarly, you can you nourish the tendons, you make them strong, you take them through their elastic ranges of motion. Yes, like Jonathan, Yi Jin Jing. Yeah, that's it. I'm a big I've always followed the Yi Jing Jing. If you don't know what it is, go and have a look into it. But it's the bone and tendon metamorphosis. It translates to, and it's those exercises, yeah. But that's why I do like a useless version in the air. The biggest thing about Yi Jing Jing, legs. So I don't like to see Yi Jing Jing done up here. I've seen some videos of people like literally standing upright doing Yi Jing Jing. Unfortunately, legs. It has to be low. It has to at least be stretched, because that's part of the point of the Yi Jing Jing. Now, if you're going to do Yi Jing Jing and you're going to not stretch and lengthen and twist and force on some of your biggest tendons in your body, i.e. your leg ones, obviously you're missing out a lot of Yi Jing Jing. So, in short, if you're going to do Yi Jing Jing or you're going to copy it from YouTube or from a video, make sure you copy or try to copy or build yourself to copy how wide the legs are and how low they're going and how the specifics of the movements are. Because if you that's one of the main things I tell people, in my opinion, is if you just copy the hands, forget about it. Forget about it. Don't bother. Just go home. Sorry, guys. Just go home. I'm kind of half kidding. Ultimately, everyone can do what they want. But yeah. Yes. Yi Jing Jing, Ba Dua Jing. There's the Chi Sui Jing. Awesome. Yeah. Now, there's a funny thing for Pie Hole. All right, Pie Hole. Pie Hole asks, do I train ridge hand? Ridge hand or knife hand is my strongest one. Yeah, it's stronger than my fists, even though my knuckles are a bit gnarled. Oh, they're all right these days because I haven't recently been training them too much. But yeah, ridge hand. See, because when I was about 15, 13, 14, 15, I filled a boxing bag with gravel and sand, 4-foot boxing bag, and I just used to punch it. Now, back then, which is another reason I made this channel, because I wanted to give people like me back then a place where they can go and see, oh, maybe that's a better way of doing that conditioning, because there's someone who's been doing it for the past, freaking 15 years. But yeah, I used to bust my knuckles up so much, cut them and stuff, that I physically not like broken, but blooded and stuff. That I then used to incorporate from jiu-jitsu that I was doing, the old Japanese chops, and also I used to do shotokan. But I used to do shotokan. We always used to practice the punches and the chops, but we never used to actually apply the chops onto anything. So one day my hands would just bust, and I was like, shit, if I walk into town and someone attacks me, I can't punch them. My hands are all bust. So then I started chopping. And then all of a sudden I started chopping, and then I started hitting the forearm bones, and it all started revealing itself to me. And I dug up I used to have a couple old Shaolin Kung Fu books, but I dug up the old 72 Secret Arts of Shaolin. And before that I was doing the old sandbag training, and I was lucky because I was one of these martial artists who I was there, or I was hovering around about the right place, and all I needed was those things to like say, oh, good, you're on the right track. So I more often than not, I would open the books and I'd find stuff like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. But more or less, I was on the right track with what I was doing. I was like, yes, so now I could just refine it and build it. Yeah, pie hole. Yeah, if you go back on my YouTube videos about 2 years, you'll see my lamppost Makiwara video, and you'll see there. Yeah, I mean that's a big wooden post. It's concreted into the ground, and you'll see I'm striking it with the fists, and I think I use this forearm and also the forearm bones. Yeah, so you can hear them there. Yeah, the forearm bones to strike it. That's called twin locks. That's a skill from the 72 Secret Arts of Shaolin, for making the bones strong. Yeah, that's another thing you can use your little twisty bundle for. Yeah, you can use it for iron bone training too. Yeah, so there. Well, do you know what, guys? It's been awesome. Just hanging out with everyone here. It's really, I've got a stressful job, and my training. Sometimes I'm training, I try to clear my mind, but afterwards my mind's a bit full of all the problems of the day and things that I've got to deal with, and X, Y, and Z, as we all do. We all have those things, but it's been nice here to just sit here and chat to some people about martial arts and stuff, and about all those sorts of things. So, with that in mind, I think I will actually go now. Might heat this. Might heat my stew up and have a bit more of it. But yeah, guys, have great training. Please, if you want, come on Iron Body Martial Arts Facebook page. Post up your training. Post up your pictures. Not enough people do that on there. You know, there's a whole bit there. You know, people wait for me to post stuff, but maybe it's because they don't want to, and you know, it's just my crappy page. So who wants to post the stuff up on there? But and again, maybe because it's too open still. So like I said, that's why I made the Patreon thing, because I wanted a bit more of a closed community that people can come into. You know, but yeah, unfortunately, it's a pay thing. But how else do I make a closed community? I don't know. Yeah, Piehole. Yeah, nice to see you, bud. Thanks for stopping by. If you've never seen the channel, then yeah, go back on some of my videos, and you'll see all sorts of breaks, all sorts of different conditioning methods. Some of the videos are a bit old now. I need to update them. But yeah, there's coconut breaks. There's all sorts of Shaolin training methods. Yeah, there's all sorts. So just for general martial arts use. But okay, guys, awesome. Thanks a lot. Look forward to a bit more of a professional looking channel with some better videos. Like I said, I'm getting some Iron Body martial arts shirts and stuff that I'm not going to sell to people. I'm just getting them for me because they're just crappy, and you know, they're just for me to have fun with. Okay, cool, guys. Have a good one. Let's turn this thing.